Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's episode 1.
0/1.
0/1. Yeah. Episode 0.7 and then 1.
Yeah.
Welcome to Tablestory's Khwarezmia. This is us, the Tuesday crew, minus Charlie, because she was transformed at the very last second into a sock. So very disappointing to hear. It
actually happened mid-call. Yeah, she literally just turned into a sock, and we kicked her from the call.
It happens. It happens. We all know someone.
She came as Kesha again.
She showed up as Kesha, and we were like, right, fuck you, you're out. But the rest of us are here to entertain you here on this Tuesday evening with some more tabletop RPG. We're running, obviously this is the same gang, and we tend to run a different show. We've got Bobby running this show. Bobby is GMing for the first time ever.
Period. I've never DM'd for friends. I've never DM'd offline. I've never DM'd one single battle between two characters that I've made.
You're gonna have a good time, friend.
Yeah, I'm excited to get to be the one that gets the flavor, because like there's so many times that I'm mid campaign, and then like Whack is in the middle of describing something. I'm like, oh, how about this? And I was like, I shouldn't do that, but I can't help it.
Now you will learn.
Now I get to.
You will learn both the pure enjoyment and joy that you get from GMing, and the bitter, white hot fury and hatred that you will also learn. You will learn great heights and epic new lows. I'm sure
it's gonna be something.
We're a pretty good gang.
Yeah,
to be fair, I wouldn't.
I think it's gonna go pretty smoothly.
I had a noodle in mine, so
we're not here to exploit you.
So we're gonna be running a different system. We tend to run different ones anyway, but we're running a system called What's Old is New, and we're using the O.L.D system, O.L.D. So it's I don't know much about this actually, Bobby. And to be honest,
basically
let's just hand over to you. I'm just going to give it to you. Now. Let's go.
Sure, no worries. So basically, the system we're using is the What's Old is New O.L.D system, and it's like a very open-ended system that is based on D6 rolls. So it really, if you're creative with what you can do, it's very open-ended. Like example in D&D, if you want to intimidate somebody, you have to roll charisma if you want to go on the base of the books. In this, as long as you can lawyer it, and as long as you have the applicable skills, you can do whatever you want.
If you're intimidating him with your fists, strength.
Exactly. Like you don't need to be that smart to go up and grab him by the fucking thing and lift him up, and you can just go at him, and they're probably gonna shit their pants, you know. So it lends to creativity, and it lends to, it's a really open system, which is really nice. And it gives the players the opportunity to do more with what they have. But if Brad wanted to give his character a skill in tiddlywinks, or good at checkers, or dabbing, or whatever, you could, as long as you're willing to spend the XP on that skill, you can do that. So, which is pretty cool.
So we all have.
I don't care what you spend on. So
we have a bunch of different stats. Like I can just quickly show my sheet for the stream, just because this isn't D&D, so a lot of people might be unfamiliar with the system. Just so you know, this is kind of how my character sheet looks at the moment. We have all of these stats, which I've put on the screen for the first hour here. And also there's just these ones. So these aren't like D&D, where you have, just a set group of stats, stealth, acrobatics, and all that, arcana checks and stuff. These are just stuff that we've typed in. Swimming. Yeah. like that's not a thing that everyone has, and I'm just better at it than another player. I think I'm probably the only one with swimming. Anyone else got swimming?
Yeah, you're the only one swimming. Yeah. So as opposed to like a D&D character sheet where you're like, okay, these are the skills that exist. I'm gonna check these off because I'm good at this. Like, I mean, you can apply those attributes and those checks in D&D to other things, but this system literally lets you do it. So there's no workaround.
I'll pay you 12 gold pieces right now to loop that music.
Got you. Totally. I totally forgot the one that you wanted me to loop is the one I didn't do.
Bobby is also new to Roll20.
Yeah, I've as I said, I've played. I got about 1,000 hours playtime in Roll20 now somehow. But this is my first time doing anything.
You're in every single campaign on Twitch.
Well, prior to this,
theory,
like 4.
In theory, this should, and no pressure, but this should be the best first GM's episode of anything, you know, like relative to everyone else's first GM experience. This should be the fucking dopest shit.
Yeah, like I feel like and this is honestly how I've been feeling. Like I've been more worried about like the logistics and not the role play and the story. Like I can just do that.
It's gonna be great, Bobby. Don't worry.
I think it'll be fun.
I got full 100%. As much as I've just activated an anxiety disorder in you.
It's all good.
With this system, there is one thing that I want to touch on before we like move to like characters or what have you. You get to make your own magic spells. It's so
really?
Cool.
Oh yeah. That's how magic works.
The way that magic works, I think I'm the only character with like access to casting spells, but so I took a level in Druid so that I could cast spells. So I have these special skills that my character has, like the Secret of Beasts and the Secret of Metal, and transform as like an ability, like a casting ability. So you go like transform beast and then make up what that is. So if it's like I need the eyes of a cat so I can see in the dark, transform beast, 1 hour cat's eyes, or I need to become a mouse for an hour so that I can escape capture, transform beast, whatever. But I also have the Secret of Metal and transform, so I can go, oh, look at this silver coin, transform metal. It's a gold coin for an hour. Here you go,
that's cool.
Or oh, look at your armor, your helmet and your heavy plate armor. That's real cool. It's all fused together now. It's one solid piece of metal. Have fun.
Dung.
Stuff like that.
Weirdly enough, I have the Secret of Plants, I think.
But
somewhere in here.
But you have no casting mechanic, right?
But no. I mean,
so the secret. So that's how it works. You need secret and then like magical component. So,
I didn't expect to be able to cast spells, but I just had no idea what that meant.
So like I can turn a sword into 2 daggers. I can turn a dagger into a clump of lead. I can, like all kinds of cool stuff. Only temporarily, mostly because I don't have a lot of mana, but it's still cool.
I think
and make up your own spells. It's
another thing to touch on as well, just while we're going over the system, just to give everyone an idea, because I think sometimes we jump into these things and everyone's like, what's happening? And then they just fucking just turn off.
We don't know.
Another thing that's very interesting, and I think if you're into like tabletop stuff, specifically like D&D, because this is an old system. It's like an old fantasy world, so it's very similar to D&D, more so than something like Apocalypse World.
Like the old setting, the old style of D&D, like AD&D, like the old stuff. Like
with this, you have a life path, which is just your entire life. You create a character from fucking birth, and I know everything about my character. Like, for example, I know this is kind of like a jump ahead for metaing everyone else, but whatever. I was a fisherman for 16 years, then a watchman for 12 years, then a squire for 2, and then a knight for 40. And that's my life path, and it's completely influenced everything mechanically that my character is. And it's really cool the way that you build a character in this system.
Yeah, it definitely is. It makes you it gets you hooked into the role play of the character like way quicker.
I'm actually really excited for the role play. And normally I'm fuck it, I just want to fight
really
something.
Into it.
It's really fun, and it's personally, I don't mean to cut you off, Elf. It's personally my favorite system for roleplay because of the way the system works and the way the checks work is that it's so open-ended that as long as you can lawyer it and it makes sense, then you can do it. I mean, it's just like life. I mean, it's there's not like you can use your strength in a bunch of different ways, but you can't use your strength to like hack a computer, but you can use your strength to do a lot of things, from intimidate to lift things. So it's really open-ended.
One thing I did want to touch on with the life path system, there are a bunch of systems that do this, and I would say that this is probably one of the simpler life path systems if you want to get into like a life path creation game, all the way up to like your burning wheel craziness, which is like down to the tiniest detail of life path stuff.
How many cells do you make up your body mass?
But it's really good. It helps you to get into that character, right? I'm into it. Should we talk about characters? I want to talk about characters.
Absolutely, we can do that. I guess we'll start with the order with which my Zoom call is in, because I don't have the stream loaded up.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We'll start with Brad. You can sort of like give a lowdown of your character. You can go through your skills as in depth. Like pretty much, guys, the first hour, like the next like 30 to 40 minutes, we're just gonna go over characters, just to give you an idea of who we are, or the actual in-game characters, and then we'll get into it. So
maybe touch on the world a little bit.
The world, yeah, we'll get a lowdown on the world as well.
In terms of the overlay, Bobby, the only reason that we're in any order on the overlay is that on the left the names are longer. Distracted Elf and Peachy Pixelate, and Me and Ponies are shorter, which is why we're at the top. It was purely just an aesthetic thing for the way I was looking at it when I made the overlay 10 minutes before the stream. Anyway, so my character is Khwarezmia the Blessed, and I am a really old dude. Like the main, what is it called? There's a thing up here that says Khwarezmia, an old tawny knight past his prime who wields a powerful sword. I'm from the capital city of this world of Khwarezmia, and I spent a long time as a watchman, a city guard, and pretty much like all my guardsmen and us were like standing around watching a lot of tournaments and things, and I was like, I think I could take them in a fight, and all the other guards were like, nah, you got no chance, son. And I was like, I'll prove you wrong. So I went and squired under a knight, and then took I became a knight, and then it not necessarily, I don't think, Bobby, like one of the knights that went riding out with the military, but more just like a city-bound knight.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There would be a full like regiment, so to say, that just keep the peace in the Citadel.
Yeah,
like
I think
the Citadel Watch is pretty much both cop, FBI, the whole slew. That's who keeps the peace.
I remained like a city watchman. But I just was at the night level, and also I'd spend a good portion of the year training for tournaments because I was a tourney knight. Like I wanted the fame and that kind of thing, so I went in with that kind of mind frame. That's pretty much all my character like is and does. It's a pretty standard issue character. Like it's not really anything that I need to hold back, I don't think. I'm just an old knight. I didn't marry. I just live my life by the sword. Proved all my friends wrong. I was so late out in starting being a knight because I started life as a knight when I was, let's see, I would have been, so if I squired for 2 years here, 14 plus 16, 30. I was like 30 when I was like, I'm gonna fucking prove you guys wrong.
You were like a full-grown adult man. Probably your middle-age crisis was like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna go squire." And you were squiring with children, like typically, you know, like or not children, but like you know, teenagers.
Yeah.
So
it's like a 30-year-old man squiring with like Loris Tyrell, and I'm there like, "All right, fella," because I was like lowborn. Yeah, pretty much that's it. Like I'm just a well-armored old knight. Think sort of Barristan Selmy meets Walder Frey is kind of the attitude. I'm not posh. I didn't come from money.
I love him already.
I didn't come from money. And then my purpose here is that I left I'm too old to continue to serve. I'm too old to win any tournaments. And for the first time, I wanted to. I've done in as close as you get in medieval times a sort of retirement. When now I would quite like to see the world. So I'm just taking on jobs and quests that would take me outside of the city because I've never left. So I'm interested in looking at the world just in my waning years before I die. You know, go out, see if I can find someone who can actually best me in a fight that isn't the fucking dude that beat me after I won my tournaments. What was his name? Emperor's New Groove?
Oh, the actual Emperor himself, Overlord Tukai.
Overlord Tukai. I have fought twice.
And the way you fought him is every 4 summers at the first harvest on the river of the Citadel, they construct a huge river barge. This thing's like 100 feet wide, like 600-700 feet long. It's held up by like barrels of air, or not barrels. Yeah, it's just held up by however fucking things float. I don't know. And so and that's where the tournaments take place, like jousting, dueling, the whole slew, like a full festival with jesters, the whole slew that it takes place on the barge. And the winner of the tournament gets to duel with the Emperor, the Overlord in this situation.
I think I won twice. I think I'm going to go with the old Dr. Disrespect 2-time champion.
Back-to-back champs.
Back-to-back 2-time champion. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, something like that. Earned a little bit of rep. I became known after one of those tournaments, at least, as Khwarezmia the Blessed because of some crazy lucky thing that happened. I remember we discussed it and I kind of forgot it, but I think it was something like I slipped and dropped my sword, and then because I slipped, the sword swung over my head, and I managed to get my sword back and best this guy through pure luck. And
pure luck.
People always referred to me as Caster the Blessed because I have the highest luck score ever. I have a 10 in luck.
So, and like the one thing that's really cool about the system is luck is an attribute and something that you can use a lot. It has so many different uses, and it's really cool. Like one of the things you can do, you can trade one luck die example to increase your damage die for one attack, or you can add dice to attack rolls. You can subtract dice from enemy attack rolls, and they all have a pool that they can use once a day. It recharges at the beginning of the next day.
I'm also old,
bearing any exploits,
so I get the.
That's
old
the other thing.
Yeah.
So because he's old, he literally can't get any stronger or agile. Those stats are locked from him from leveling up. They cannot be leveled up. But he gets what's the exploit again?
So
the old exploit that you get.
Old is that once per day, when rolling a dice pool, you may declare it to be a careful dice pool. Any ones that you roll may be re-rolled, with the new roll replacing the 1. If you roll a 1 a second time, you must take the 1. It's kind of like halfling luck, except that I choose when to do it, I guess. So, yeah, I don't know. There's going to be some... I'm going to need some time to work out this system. Weirdly enough, I know that I'm like a DM, but I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with this whole system.
It's so different. Like, but we'll figure it out as we go.
I haven't been playing TTRPGs my entire life to just naturally pick stuff up very quickly, like Elf.
Well, I think most of us have been.
Elf is 10 times more intelligent than me as well, probably. So I'm just there like, Bobby, what is a knight?
All of these things are incorrect, except for me having more experience with tabletop RPGs than you. Which
but yeah, but you always pick stuff up really quickly, and I'm like, whoa, yeah, she's amazing. But I'm just there like, I don't understand.
Well, see, the thing is, I read the book and follow the instructions.
Yeah, I can't read. Okay, privilege.
I read, follow the instructions, and then just forget everything. So I actually have to double check.
Yeah, I do that a little bit as well. I learn better from either playing or someone else telling me rather than reading the thing. I read it if I have to. Like when I learned to DM, I just read the book because I needed to, because no one else was going to tell me. But I'd rather just be like, tell me how to do this, and then I'll actually retain that information. Anyway, that's my character, Caster the Blessed, and that's me. Done.
So the next one, you can go ahead, Pony, if you'd like.
Oof. Yeah. I am Yodariel, a noble-born high elf. No.
Grand elf.
Grand elf. That's
pretty much high elves, though.
Yeah.
Copyright.
Born in the kingdom of Dalana. My father's the king, Sauron. I am
Sauron?
the young...
Did you say Sauron?
No, Sauron. C-H-A-U.
C-H? Oh, okay, yeah, because you say shat as well instead of chat.
Yeah. How will you pick it? Everyone picks it.
It's hard work being Swedish, I understand.
It is. Shut up. He is at the young age of 145, which isn't a lot for an elf, I learned.
That's the hysterical thing, is I'm old as shit and I'm 70. Like, I'm about to just have a heart attack and die. And like you're 140 and you're just some little like whippersnapper coming up.
Yeah. And that's this what he is. He's just like noble born and a bit of a whippersnapper, as you would say. He's born into nobility and was how do you say, not brought in, but kind of brought in to a group called the family, which is how would you explain it?
The mafia.
I don't want to say, it's not a religion per se.
Well, Peachy was calling it a cult.
Definitely not a cult.
Definitely not a cult, we can say that. But after the age of like 15, he was brought into that for several years. So he's kind of under he's extremely devoted to them. And there's a few, I would assume that almost the whole noble family is a part of that. But it's a little bit hush. But it's a group that together strive towards not heaven. I don't want to say heaven, but not glory either. Enlightenment, we can say, yeah. Zen, Nirvana. And that is kind of, he's extremely devoted to them.
And you said it's a family cult. It started from your family. Is that from in your city? It's from your city, is that you're saying?
No, it's been around for a long time. I'm not sure if anyone knows where it's even originated from.
Okay, so I'll just go wild with it then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then after that, he's been some sort of like of a fighter on the long side of that throughout the years. So we picked a name that was really good. What did we call him?
What was it you went with? A war cleric.
War cleric.
Sort of
war cleric elf.
Bit of a holy warrior. I mean, you were noble, you were a cleric, a minstrel, you were a ranger for some time. Like you've done all kinds of stuff. You've really done a lot.
As an elf, you get the bonus of just spending the years.
You just get to be old as fuck. Yeah. No, that's awesome. And yeah, and his the kingdom of Dalaran. I'm gonna keep calling it Dalaran. It's what's gonna keep happening. I'm gonna call it Dalaran. But yeah, that kingdom and all the Elvish kingdoms, they are to the west of the map. So you are from the west. And one thing that's cool about the elves is that the whole force to the west, they're all controlled by the Sylvan. Think Wood Elves, but they're called Sylvan Elves. And there's pocket cities and pocket regions within those woods, the Sylvan Woods, that are ruled by the Grand Elves. So that's sort of the gist there.
My dad.
Yeah, your daddy. Shauron, CH. Sauron. Oh my god.
I'm just gonna Elon.
Oh yeah, it's in the exploits there. That's right. You added
Sauron the king.
Sauron. Can you write it in there? Because like I don't know.
Knock really.
Hold on here.
Oh, Thauron. I see it. Okay, I got it there. Yeah, Thauron. All right, we got it. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Don't make fun of us Swedish there, Bobby. It's just
no. I just wanted to pronounce it right because it's the name, so I gotta know what the name is. Beauty. That's awesome. Peachy, you can go ahead. Who do you play? What are you going to be doing here?
So I play Khwarezmia, who is a gunslinging orc bounty hunter with a fondness for weapons. He was born in a tribe in the middle of fucking nowhere, but the family moved on through and kind of converted everyone to the religion. And they basically trained me to kill things the whole time. I've been there since I was 6, so I'm like fully indoctrinated into the totally not a cult. And anytime someone decides to leave the family without paying their dues, they send me out to go catch them. And that's what I'm doing in, what was this city called?
It's the Citadel of Khwarezmia.
I'm in the Citadel with Jodriel?
Yodariel.
You fucking Swedish. I mean, I'm Swedish.
Jodariel. Jävla fan.
Yodariel.
Din jävla skit.
We managed to track him, or he's definitely been to this city, and that's why we're in the city at the moment, because we've heard rumors of him being here. I'm basically just the bullet launcher, while Pony's character is an avocado, if you will.
I was mildly distracted. Did you say you're a bullet puncher?
But I basically throw bullets from my general.
You're a 90s action hero, the most 90s action bullet puncher.
So I mean, I don't know much life outside of the family. So everything I believe is because of the family.
Great. So 50% of us are fucking cultists.
I'm fighting this stuff right now.
Jesus Christ.
Cultists. So we'll see.
I'm not a cultist.
Happens.
Don't worry.
All right,
we'll see. I found that out the same time you guys did, chat. So we'll see how that kind of plays into the whole world.
We're gonna fuck you guys up.
Bobby's entire narrative just changed.
Yeah. No, I have contingencies, but we'll see.
This is what happened with me and McCloken. McCloken was like, I want to be an Aasimar, and I was like, damn it, there was not supposed to be any celestial bullshit going on in this campaign, and the whole thing became a celestial campaign because of McCloken's incessant need.
When we were making characters too, I was telling them like what classes or what races were available, and I said that there's ogres in the southeast and there's no orcs on the continent, and PG's like, I'm gonna be an orc. I'm like, you got it. So
you wouldn't let me be a cat girl, so
Well, you didn't ask. You literally didn't ask. If you had an asked,
don't act like you want that.
It's too late now. I would have
in public like you want it, but in private go like I don't want to be a cat girl.
I would have straight up taken. Yeah, I would have straight up taken the feeling class from the NEW system of the What's Old is New, and you could have just taken that. Literally, you could say, "Hey, now there's cat people," but there's no cat people now. It's too late. Maybe there will be. Maybe I'll ask.
I tried. I definitely tried.
No, you didn't. All right.
Shh.
And last but certainly not least, you can go ahead, Elf.
Oh, okay. Yeah, hi. So my character's name is Narat Vey. She is a Sylvan elf from the Westlands, from the Hunt, the like collective noun for the Sylvan elf nomads. The Hunt. She was an independent youth and wandered off on her own and drank from some magic spring somewhere, gaining some very supernatural powers over beasts and a metal, I suppose. But also she stopped aging at some point. And so she always has and always will look like she's probably about 14. Which is awkward. But now she resides in the capital, the Citadel. Formerly a burglar, having moved on to more aggressive, underhanded tactics like assassination. She plies her trade and tries to stay unnoticed. She's the traits I have for her, like the description that like sort of randomly generated here, is that she's an unwashed, ageless Sylvan elf who has a fantastic collection of dirt. She has a satchel that like has little jars of dirt from the various corners of this world that she's collected over time, that she finds valuable. Yeah, that's Narat Vey, knife assassin, street urchin, 100 she's like 151, but also looks like she's 14.
Wait, you're older than me?
How old are you, Peachy?
I am 27.
You're a little baby.
I was going to say, if I end up being the youngest one, but I'm like this horribly decrepit old man. Jeez.
Well, it's as simple. If you want, like, if you really want, I'll just kill off Peachy's character right away, and then you will be.
That'd be
at
great.
least the remainder of the episode.
Bring him back as a Neko, whatever he wants to be.
Yeah, a cat girl. If you want to be a cat girl, Peachy, that bad, like.
I really do.
But yeah, the kind of just to give you an idea, the kind of weapons that I have on me are a high quality dagger, no shoes, no gloves, no helmet, some high quality hide armor. And knife that comes out of my boot, like that's in like a kick knife.
A James
basically.
Bond 007
like
Q
a
made you a
007
boot thing.
kick knife.
Yeah, like
I need to get
OG
specific.
Bonds.
So I guess I am wearing shoes. Never mind. But yeah. So there's a boot knife that I'm gonna use on someone at some point. I have to.
Is that a snake in your boot? No. Bitch, it's a goddamn blade. Bam, 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 bam.
Just wants to kill someone. So I mean, I might really want to kill Peachy's character today. We'll see. Just Peachy's though. Love you, Peachy.
Why do I always get picked on?
I don't know. Maybe because you're just
the worst.
You know,
I'm actually quite lovely, thank you.
only like sociopathic, like people that murder family members secretly and eat their skin would say that I'm actually nice. You know?
I am perfectly amiable.
I'm a lovely person, you know. Who's the type of people?
I'm a nice guy. Look at my fedora.
People from LA and psychopaths say I'm a nice person.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Self-proclaimed nice guy. But yeah, no, that's.
I mean,
that's
I
awesome.
can fill in more details if you want me to keep going.
We'll just do the base overview of the characters, and we'll kind of we'll develop them as we get into it.
I forgot Lily though. I got a dog pug that's Snow White. It just walks.
Oh yeah.
She's got a little doggy.
Yeah, a little plug named Lily.
Little pug.
Who are the people you know as well, Pony?
What do we say that? Yeah, doesn't matter.
We didn't. Yeah, it's up to you if you want to share your contacts.
Yeah, it's my father, Sauron, you assholes, and Bruce, who is the leader of
Bruce Brad.
Bruce. Okay.
I know somebody called Franny, who's sort of the third in command.
A devoted believer.
Franny.
Yeah.
She goes by Fran.
I made normal useful people, and now I feel.
I have one useful person.
I made normal useful people too. One of them is my brother, who's a diplomat. And the other one is my fence, who.
I know the head of the City Watch, and someone else. Someone called Peachy Pixel 9, a clone from another dimension.
That works. We can still go with that. Like that's still an okay thing that works.
I would hate myself forever if that were true.
No, that's not true. Definitely not. But I guess that's sort of all the characters, and I'll give you a quick lowdown of the world. So it takes place in the Empire of Khwarezmia. The Citadel is in the western forests of their lands, like probably a couple hundred miles. The Citadel is on a river, so a lot of their trade is with the dwarves and with the small folk and with the elves. Most of their trade takes place on the river. Everything to the east is mostly open steppe. There's some small trade routes there's trade routes along like throughout the whole empire, but there's not a lot of civilization there. I'd say 90% of the population in Khwarezmia lives in the Citadel. So there's a few other places, some general background of the actual empire itself. It's been stable and peaceful in the region for about 500 to 600 years. Like it's been stable for quite some time because of not necessarily Iron Fist, but the strong rule of the overlords out of the Citadel. So the main threat as well, and this has been known to everybody for the past 150, 200 years, the ogres in the southeast, the Durgzerg ogres, there's been a peace, and they just sort of let them be down in the southeast in the desert, and they have a watchtower there. They're watched by the watchmen, but that's the gist of it. It's just peaceful. If you look at the map as well, there's not a lot of coast that they had the empire or the actual empire has access to. The whole southern coast is mostly cliff. The desert goes right up to the water, but most of the desert is controlled by the ogres, and the ogres really aren't too fond of having people trespass. There's a peace, there's a truce between the empire and the ogres. So that's the gist of that. There's some minor fishery trade, from the ocean, but not a whole lot. And that's more or less the gist of it. There's some ancient ruins as well. There's all kinds of interesting creatures and beasts throughout the world, but we'll see if they encounter any of them. So it should be fun. The main races that are in the world, there's the Sylvan Elves and the Grand Elves. They're to the west. The Cavebeard Dwarves are up in the north, up in the mountains, the Blue Iron Mountains, and the Small Folk live along the southern coast in the cliff, and we'll get into that when we get to it. But they have a pretty interesting right here at number 11. They have a very interesting place where they live, and I'll describe that when they get there, when it's asked or inquired about. But yeah, that's more or less the general gist of the world. I guess we could either go into it now, or we could take a quick little break, and then when we come back, we can just launch into to what's going on. One thing too. True. Yeah, one quick thing, just the family. I assume that both of your characters would be in the Citadel. Like the family has some things in the Citadel, I would assume. We'll say. So you guys are in the Citadel for the family, which is
family business.
Yeah. No, the map is business. The map. There's an auto generator that I just spent some time on and fiddled and drew until it came out with something that I kind of liked. So But yeah,
Is there anywhere on this character sheet just for notes? Just out of curiosity.
for notes, I don't.
I opened up an exploit and then opened up the little details in it and just have like
And then
notes
just have it
and
be
then
notes?
I just write my notes into the
That's a good
details
idea.
box.
Right. What was that emperor's name?
The Grand or the Great Tukai.
Spelled.
Tukai.
The
And
Great
you fought him
Tukai.
twice.
Yes, I
Great
fought him
Tukai.
twice and got my fucking ass handed to me twice.
Yeah. Well, we can either get into that now or we can.
Hey, fuck it. Let me know how I lost.
Oh yeah, so you handedly, I assume, or maybe luckily, we'll say, won your tournament.
First year, genuinely won second year.
Genuinely won. Yeah, you probably, with your winnings, picked up some sick armor, got your sword.
That's when I went and got the sword. Oh, I need a name for my fucking sword. Carry on.
But yeah, so you won the tournament, and on this big floating barge, there's thousands of people watching, almost like the Colosseum, so to say, but just, small stands. It feels like the Colosseum as when you're fighting.
Yeah.
But so you would have defeated the other person in the last duel, and what happens is the Great Tukai, the Emperor, the Overlord, they challenge the winner of the tournament to a duel, and this duel, the winner is chosen by either first to submit or first to draw blood. This specific Overlord has never lost in his 60 years of ruling. And this even goes into his late years, but he is when he's fighting, he's ordained in golden plate with a fancy helmet, and he has a huge halberd, and he has a big old gut too, big old belly. He's probably about I want to say 6'5", about maybe 400 pounds.
I'm sort of
jacked, but
I'm sort of imagining that fucking, what's that first boss from Crash Bandicoot?
oh
Papu
God, I don't think I've ever
Papu.
played
That's his name?
Papu. I don't know. Maybe.
Just an enormous fucking dude with a big belly.
Huge guy, and his armor itself, it follows his shape. So the armor itself, the plate armor, is molded around his big old gut, and it's beautifully ordained. But he was so quick. He caught the first fight. He caught you off guard and just tripped you up with the butt end of his halberd and just put the tip of the halberd to your throat, and there was literally nothing you could do.
Yeah.
The second time he fought you, he played with you for a while until he literally just slashed you so hard that he cut through your armor on your shoulder and drew blood, and then that was it. He doesn't speak a lot. He's pretty quiet.
That's when I started drinking.
That was when you started drinking.
Yeah, that was it. Just knowing there was someone out there I could never beat. Yeah, fuck yeah. Tawny night.
Tawny night.
All right, so let's do a quick break then, and when we come back, we'll start the true episode 1 true. I need a sword name, chat. So, can people just throw sword names in chat? We're going to go for a break for a couple of minutes. For the record, swords which are from Final Fantasy have a ×2 multiplayer chance of winning and becoming the name of the sword. Or cool Game of Thrones style names like Lightbringer and all that sort of shit.
Oh, that's sick.
Those sorts of names are much better. Stabby McStabface, Peachy, probably is not going to be what I call this sword. And whatever as well, I think as well my sword has something on the pommel. So animals and shit like that. Give me an idea. And when we come back, we'll pick a sword name. And if you're watching this on the VOD, well then sucks to be you, because the sword has already been named. But in my future now, in your past, in the VOD. Oh, time travel. See you all in a few minutes. We're going to have a little breaky, and we will return to the world of Khwarezmia.